Hello, so in this video I'm going to share my number one tip for passing a standards check. I'm going to tell you how most instructors mess it up before they've even got in the car, and this is, I'd say, at least 90% of instructors get this wrong, and you've made the right mess of it before you even get in the car and start teaching. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to pretend that I'm talking to myself now. I'm going to play the role of the instructor and the examiner, and I'm going to simulate the conversation that you have with each other at the test centre before your standards check begins. When I put my hand up like that in the air, that's when I'm talking as the examiner. When I'm talking like this with my hand down, that's me talking as the instructor. So imagine I've just got to a test centre and I walk in and the examiner comes out and he says, "Hello, how are you doing?" And you say, "I'm okay, thanks." And they ask you the question, "What are you going to be doing in today's lesson?" And the instructor says, "Roundabouts." Okay? Now, did you notice something there? Let me do that again to make that clearer. So, "Hello, how are you today?" "I'm doing fine, thanks." So what are we going to be looking at on today's lesson? Roundabouts. Okay, thanks. Now, did you notice the pause? Why did the examiner pause after you just said, "We're going to do roundabouts"? Well, the reason is you haven't told them why you're doing roundabouts. Now, if you come out for a standards check and the examiner asks you, "What are you going to be doing today?" what is it that you're supposed to say? What do they want to hear you say? What you're supposed to say is something along the lines of, "I need to discuss it with the people first, but then we're probably going to go and look at roundabouts because the people mentioned on the last lesson that they don't think they're very good at them and they want to develop the skill of doing roundabouts." And the examiner will then say, "Yeah, great." No pause, because they're not waiting for you to explain why you're doing that lesson. And I've seen this over and over again when I've taken people for standards checks and they just kind of freeze and they just say, "We're doing turning left." Why? Why are you doing turning left? Have you even asked the people if they want to do turning left? Do they even need to do it? What skill is it you're developing on that lesson? When they ask you what it is you're doing on your lesson, don't just give a blunt answer like roundabouts. What you're supposed to do, because remember the whole point of the standards check is you're supposed to base the lesson around the people's needs. So if they ask you, "What are you doing today?" then you just say, like, "This person behind's making a bit of a mess of their clutch control," as you can hear the engine revving probably. So if I was teaching that person behind, I'd say, "We're going to look at clutch control because they've just pulled up and made a right mess of it and they keep backing up and nearly hitting the curb." So there's a good example for you. But don't just say, "We're doing roundabouts" or "We're doing using a sat-nav." Why are you doing that? Best of all, say something along the lines of, "I need to check a few things with the people first." And the reason I went like that before, that's what the examiner will be thinking. Right from the off, from the very beginning, you are demonstrating client-based learning, which is what standards checks are all about. If you don't know what client-based learning is, have a watch of some of my other videos on firstdrive.com. But don't just say a topic with no reason. Explain that you need to talk to the people, you need to confer with them and ask what they want to do today. What they need to do today, I should say. I know what they want to do, but what they need to do. So when the examiner asks you, "What are you doing for today's lesson?" you can say something like, "I'm going to talk to the people first, and we're probably going to go and do roundabouts because he needs to work on turning left. He's had problems turning left before." But don't just give a blunt answer. So I hope that's given you something to think about, and I hope that's helped you out somewhat. It's a very short video, but if you do want to check out my other ones, have a look on my website for loads more tips and training videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon for more videos.